So I dated a lot of IG baddies, and here's what I learned. By the way, if you are one of the IG baddies that I've dated, get off the video. This video is not for you. And if you're gonna keep watching it anyway, well, sorry, baby. You know, there are men that need to be educated. I still love you, you know that. So if God gave me a form right now and I had to fill it out, and I had to fill out the identity, the career of my ideal woman, my dream wife. And if I could ban one career, I would ban prostitute.
What?
No, I wouldn't ban prostitute. Wait, what? But I would say her being an influencer is not preferred unless she brands herself in a particular way, which I'm gonna elaborate on later. So when I was young, right, when I didn't get any girls, I'm 28 years old now. I've been around the block. And the girl with the most amount of followers that I dated was about 7 million followers. She was a very famous Russian girl. I've dated influencers, like small-time local celebrities. So I've really taken a peek behind the curtain to know what it's really like. Because I think as a young guy, when I was on the outside looking in, I thought it would just be the most satisfying thing to date one of these girls. Almost like my value as a man would finally be complete. I'd get that final stamp of approval if I can just bag one of these baddies. It's not really true, is it? Don't get me wrong. I think it entirely depends on your psychology and what you're looking for in that moment. If you're a guy who is more superficial, you just care if they're hot or not, and you don't really care about what's on the inside or the energy, the values that the other person has, then yeah, maybe it would be the best thing in the world. But I am someone who cares about these things. I do look layers deeper into a person's soul. When I spend a lot of time with someone, whether it's a platonic friendship or something more intimate, their energy rubs off on you. Their worldviews affects yours. Especially when you have the choice. Why would you choose someone who doesn't have the best energy for you? So I remember dating this girl who was a baddie influencer. Right? She has, I think she has like 300k followers on Instagram. One of those girls who has built a brand around her beauty. And actually a lot of her content would be what you consider as thirst trap. Bikini pic here, sexy photo there. Her whole personal brand was just her showing how hot she is. Essentially, sometimes it's done a bit more subtly, other times more overtly. But if you just look at every post, the intention behind it is always, look at how hot I am. And when I first started dating her, I was like, oh my god, man, the sex is amazing. She's so hot. I'm getting so much validation knowing that I'm dating a girl like this. But then as we spent more and more time together, I realized that in some ways she is quite shallow. Don't get me wrong, I think humans can be very multifaceted and they can be complicated souls with different sides to them. A narcissist could be charming and nice at times, and a shallow person can also be deep and kind at times. Essentially, I felt like she's someone who has different sides to her. Like on social media, she has branded herself as this perfect angel type of girl who is so beautiful, always smiling, always in a good mood. But actually behind the screen, she would have anger problems. She would lose control. She would be very temperamental, and she also had a huge ego. An ego that is based on validation. And I realized that a big part of why she has spent all that time, energy, and effort to build that brand is so she can kind of cement her status in the world as a very desired woman. And in order to have goals like this, you can just imagine the psychology that is required for someone to think like this. A lot of trauma, a lot of insecurities, a lot of wanting to prove yourself to the world. Yeah, just imagine this. I mean, seriously, just imagine this. You spend hours each week just picking out bikinis, going to the beach, arranging a photo shoot with a photographer or your friend, and then posing, doing it over and over again for years. Like, how many sexy photos do you need of yourself online? Like, why are you trying to show it all to the world? What are you trying to gain? Some temporary good feelings, recognition, validation? So I said I don't want an influencer or some kind of content creator as a wife unless they actually make content that is authentic, that is real. Because I think social media, especially if you make content, can be a way for someone to build more layers on top of themselves. And I realized that I like people who are real. I like people who wear their heart on their sleeves, who actually show their real personality, who say what they think, do what they feel. But with a lot of content creators I've met, especially these IG baddies, they spend so much time thinking about what the algorithm wants, what their audience wants, that they just end up building all these layers and all these egos on top of an already existing ego personality. And it just creates a very unnecessarily complicated soul. And yeah, I'd just rather not deal with that.